In this video, I'm going to give you one method to follow to help you meet your protein needs while staying in a calorie deficit. This one technique has helped hundreds of my clients successfully lose weight because it's easy to follow and understand. If you're new here, I'm Maria and I'm a registered dietitian. Welcome to the channel. So we have learned how crucial protein is for weight loss. But to lose weight, you also need to eat fewer calories overall. So on one end, we're being told that we need to eat X amount of protein every day. We need to have 30 grams of protein at every meal, 20 grams at every snack. But at the same time, you're trying to eat less to lose weight. Confused? Well, that is where your online dietitian comes in. So to meet our protein needs while staying in a calorie deficit, we need to be consuming foods that are high in protein and, yes, you guessed it, lower in calories. So this is the method that I give to my clients to figure out what these foods are. Now we're going to use 3 foods as an example. We're going to look at cottage cheese, a protein bar, and this protein granola that I found online. But if you'd like, pause this video and go grab any food to use as we go through this method. So you want to take the food and look at the nutrition label, and you want to look at the amount of protein and the amount of calories in a serving of this food. So the cottage cheese has 14 grams of protein in one serving, which has 80 calories. The protein bar has 20 grams of protein and 200 calories. And the granola has 7 grams of protein and 217 calories in a serving. Now the next thing that I want you to do is take that protein number and add a 0 onto the end of it. So the 14 in the cottage cheese becomes 140, the 20 in the protein bar becomes 200, and the 7 in the granola becomes 70. Now to see if you will be able to optimize your protein intake while staying in a calorie deficit, take that new number with the 0 added to the end. And that new number should be close to or over the amount of calories in one serving of that food. And this will mean that it has a high protein to calorie ratio, which is what we want. So in the case of the cottage cheese, our new number 140 is way over the amount of calories at 80. So clearly this is a great option to optimize your protein intake while staying in a calorie deficit. 140 is much higher than the 80 calories. So it has a great protein to calorie ratio. Now the example of the protein bar with the 20 grams of protein, the 0 added to the end making it 200, and we're comparing that to the 200 calories in the bar. So this is equal, which is still very good. Maybe not as good a ratio as a cottage cheese, but it's still a good option. Because remember, we want that new number to be equal to or over the calories. Now the last example is this granola, which has high protein written all over the packaging, and it's really well marketed as a high protein food. But this new number, 7 with the 0, so 70, comparing that to the 217 calories in one serving of the product, doesn't even come close to meeting it. So we know here that the protein to calorie ratio is not very good. So if we try to use this food to get in a lot of our protein needs, it's going to come along with a lot of additional calories as well, which isn't ideal if you're trying to lose weight. It might be an okay option in other circumstances, but not if you're trying to stick to a calorie deficit. So we want to be looking at the protein to calorie ratio. Now I'm going to pause here and ask that if you're enjoying the video so far and it's giving you value, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the red subscribe button below. And if you're looking for high protein, healthy meal ideas, I'd recommend following me over on Instagram. So now that we know how to identify these foods, I'm going to give you a few more tips to help maximize your weight loss journey. The first one is to use protein supplements wisely. Protein powders and protein shakes, they can often be a lean protein source and have a good protein to calorie ratio. Many of them will have around 20 grams of protein per 100 calories. And they can be a very convenient way to boost your protein intake, particularly if you're on the go and don't have much time to prepare meals. However, they are not always needed or needed in high amounts. For example, I had a client recently and she was adding protein powder into her overnight oats, into Greek yogurt as a snack. She was even using it in baking for making high protein breads. Now this is great, she was clearly meeting her protein needs, but she was really meeting them far beyond what she needed. And the result was that she was just adding in additional calories to meals and snacks that she didn't really need to add into. And often whole foods, rather than a scoop of powder, will be more satisfying. It's very easy to consume a lot of these protein powders because they take up very little space in your stomach, in comparison to the likes of trying to eat 3 chicken breasts, for example, or 3 cups of lentils. Now, I'm not saying that protein powders don't have their place. They do, but it's just about knowing how, when, and why you're using them. I'd recommend watching my protein video to get a better understanding of what your protein needs really are. And I'll leave that video linked below in the description box. Now my next tip is to pair protein with fibre. Fibre is amazing for weight loss, but because there is so much marketing hype about protein, we often forget about the fibre. Yet we have loads of research to show that people who eat more fibre are slimmer than those who don't, and that it can really help with weight loss. So combining protein with fibre-rich foods like your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, your nuts and your seeds can really help you stay fuller for longer and manage your cravings. Plus, the calories in fibre are not fully absorbed, so you're going to poop a lot of it out. I have a full free fibre guide which I'll leave linked in the description box below. The next thing that you can do is to choose carbs that can double as protein. I have been trying to eat a lot more carbs lately for running, and with that it's been hard to still keep up with meeting my protein needs. But some carbohydrates can also double as good protein sources, like chickpea pasta, quinoa, wild rice and beans are all good sources of carbohydrates and protein, and fibre too. We also need to be wary of hidden sugars and fats. Sometimes these foods that are marketed as high in protein, they can contain hidden sugars and fats that can really increase their calorie content. Always read the ingredient list and the nutrition label to ensure that you're making a healthy choice. If you don't know very much about reading nutrition labels, let me know in the comments below and I'll know to make a future video about this. Foods like flavoured yogurts and protein bars, they can be particularly deceptive. Some of them are excellent, but some of them are not. I would also reconsider your milk choice for your coffee order, particularly if you drink a lot of coffees. If you're choosing the likes of oat and almond milk, these have very little protein. And choosing something like regular skimmed dairy milk, soy milk or pea milk can provide a lot more protein per glass. Many people now find it quite trendy to order drinks with oat milk or almond milk. And this might be what you prefer. You might also find that you digest it better. But opting for real dairy, soy milk or pea protein will give you a decent amount more protein per glass. Now, if you are trying to lose weight, it can be useful to really try to get in more protein. And this does need that little bit more planning and preparation. So taking time to plan and prep your meals can be very beneficial, especially if you're being mindful of not exceeding your calorie limits. Meal prepping can also save time and money and reduce the temptation to choose less healthy options when you're tired or busy. Also, listen to your body. Everyone's nutritional needs are different, and our hunger levels can differ day to day. Don't just snack on a chicken breast at 10 p.m. at night because an app on your phone has told you that you're short a few grams of protein for the day's intake. Your metabolism is not going to suddenly shut down if you don't meet your protein target every single day. If you're not hungry, you're not hungry. Now, there is some cases where I do say not to follow this advice, like if you're recovering from disordered or binge eating. But for many of us, we really need to start tuning back into what our bodies are trying to tell us. Pay attention to how your body responds to different foods and different portion sizes, and adjust your diet accordingly. Now, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and check out my protein video. Stay happy and healthy, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching.